In a bustling city filled with the constant hum of cars and the hurried footsteps of people rushing to and from work, there was one boy who stood on the sidelines. His name was Alex. He wasn't like most of the kids in his neighborhood. While others his age were out playing, enjoying their childhood, Alex was working. He wasn't working to buy new shoes or toys. He was working because it was the only way to survive. Life hadn't given him a lot of choices, but Alex wasn't the kind of person to sit and wait for things to change. He believed in taking control of his own fate. Alex grew up in a small, run-down apartment on the edge of town. His parents worked tirelessly, his father in construction, his mother as a cleaner. They both did their best to provide, but money was always tight. Some days, there wasn't enough to eat. Alex and his younger sister often sat at the dinner table, staring at plates that were half full, wishing for something more. But despite everything, Alex's mother would always say, "We'll get by, Alex. You have to believe that things will get better." At the age of 12, Alex realized that believing wasn't enough. He had to do something. That was when he started looking for work. It wasn't easy for a boy his age to find a job, but he was determined. One day, he passed a small pizzeria on his way home. The smell of fresh dough and melting cheese filled the air, and his stomach growled as he passed. Something inside him clicked. He went inside and asked the owner, a gruff man named Tony, if he could work for him. "Work? You're a kid. What do you know about pizza?" Tony grumbled, his hands covered in flour. "I can learn," Alex said, standing straight, his voice steady. "I'll work hard. I'll do anything." Tony looked him over, then sighed. "Fine, kid. You can clean the floors and wash the dishes. But don't expect to do much more. Pizza making is a serious business." It wasn't much at first, just cleaning and doing odd jobs around the pizzeria. But Alex watched. He watched Tony and the other staff members as they made pizzas, kneading the dough, adding toppings, and sliding the pizzas into the oven. Slowly, he started learning. He asked questions, he practiced, and eventually, Tony let him help with the dough. By the time Alex turned 14, he was making pizzas on his own. His hands had become skilled at tossing the dough, his eyes knew exactly how much sauce to spread, and he could judge when the pizza was ready with a single glance. He wasn't making much money, just enough to help his parents with bills. But he had learned a craft, and that was something priceless. He had something no one could take away from him. However, as much as Alex loved making pizza, he knew this wouldn't be enough. He wanted more. He didn't want to just work at a pizzeria for the rest of his life. He wanted to create something of his own. But how could he? He didn't have the money to open a restaurant, and the idea of starting a business seemed impossible. But Alex was a dreamer. One night, after finishing his shift, he walked out of the pizzeria and stood on the corner of the busy street. The neon lights flashed, cars honked, and people hurried by. He looked around and saw all these people, all these strangers, rushing to get to their destinations. And then it hit him. Why not sell pizza on the street, he thought. If people can buy food from street vendors, why can't I sell my pizza? It wasn't an easy decision, but it was a chance to change his life. He borrowed a small cart from a friend, bought some ingredients with the last of his savings, and set up shop right outside the pizzeria. With a big sign that read, "Fresh pizza, only $1, Alex stood on the street, hoping someone would stop. At first, no one noticed. People rushed past, their eyes focused on the pavement, not even glancing at the young boy with his cart of pizza. He stood there, the weight of disappointment heavy on his shoulders. His pizzas were good, he knew they were, but it didn't matter if no one would give him a chance. Hours went by and Alex sold nothing. He was ready to pack up and go home when finally, someone stopped. A woman, maybe in her 30s, glanced at the pizzas and then at him. "How much for a slice?" she asked. "Only $1, Alex replied, his voice tinged with hope. The woman hesitated for a moment, then shrugged. "I'll try one." Alex smiled as he handed her a slice. She took a bite, and for a moment the world seemed to stop. The woman chewed slowly, her eyes widening. "Wow," she said, "this is really good. You made this?" Yes, ma'am, Alex said, his chest swelling with pride. I make them myself. The woman smiled. You've got talent, kid. If you want, I can help you out. I work for a food delivery app, and we're always looking for local vendors. If you want, I can put you on the app. Alex's heart skipped a beat. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for. You'd do that for me? Of course, she said. Just give me your details and I'll get you set up. Within a few days, Alex was listed on the app. Now, instead of standing on the street corner hoping for someone to pass by, his pizza was being delivered to homes all over the city. The orders started to come in and Alex worked tirelessly, making pizza after pizza, packing them up and sending them off. Slowly, his business began to grow, but success didn't come easily. There were days when Alex worked long into the night, exhausted but determined. The city was a tough place, and there were always new challenges. Some days the orders slowed down, and Alex wondered if he would ever be able to keep up. There were moments when the pressure felt too much, and he thought about giving up. But every time doubt crept in, he remembered his mother's words. We'll get by, Alex. You have to believe that things will get better. And so, he kept going. He kept making pizzas, kept delivering them, and kept pushing through the hard days. Months passed, and things started to change. People began to recognize his name. His pizza wasn't just any pizza. It was the pizza that had a story behind it. It was the pizza of resilience, of a young boy who refused to give up. More customers came, and soon, Alex was able to hire a few helpers to keep up with the demand. One day, a man walked into the small shop where Alex worked. He was older, dressed in business attire, and he looked around with interest. You're the kid who sells pizza on the street, right? He asked. Alex nodded, wiping his hands on a towel. I've been hearing a lot about you, the man continued. You've got something special here. Ever thought about opening a real shop? A full restaurant? Alex blinked in surprise. I don't have the money for that, he said, shaking his head. The man smiled. Well, I think I can help with that. And just like that, Alex found himself on the path to opening his first pizzeria. It wasn't easy. There were plenty of obstacles along the way, but with the help of a local investor, Alex was able to turn his small pizza cart into a full-fledged restaurant. The grand opening was a dream come true. Alex stood at the door of his pizzeria, watching customers file in. It wasn't just a victory for him. It was a victory for everyone who had ever believed that with enough hard work, anything was possible. Years later, Alex's pizzeria became one of the most popular spots in town. People came from all over the city to try his pizza, and Alex never forgot where he came from. He continued to work hard, to innovate, and to inspire others to chase their dreams. In the end, Alex's story wasn't just about pizza, it was about the power of perseverance, of believing in yourself even when no one else does. It was about never giving up, no matter how tough life gets. Alex's journey was a testament to the idea that no dream is too big, and no dreamer too small. And for Alex, the boy who once sold pizza on the streets, the future was just beginning. If you like these types of videos, then subscribe this channel and press the bell icon, and also like this video.